fucking Cyberpunk special emotes. There's gotta the fuck.
I don't know.
Twitch has no right to bitch. It's got Twitch thoughts that it should be like doing something about it. It's like, but the Twitch mods are like, we're gonna have a bunch of Twitch hoes on the platform. It's fine.
Right. Here we are getting started. I've decided to name this particular game Ghosts. Reasons that will become more obvious as we go. So, welcome everybody to the first session of Cyberpunk Red Ghosts with my wonderful little team here, who themselves are going to be helping me to tell a little story for everybody. We're not going to go through introductions right now because that is the purpose of a first session, is to actually introduce everybody. We're going to be playing Cyberpunk Red, which for just about everybody here is essentially a new experience. I am still getting used to the rules myself, as I have not run Cyberpunk Red before. I have run 2022 before, and these are very different rules. So, for any sort of failures that we may have in terms of communication or rules or anything along those lines, do bear with us and try to be patient. So, the world of Cyberpunk. What a wonderful thing. Cyberpunk, much like our world, is one which exists in more or less an alternate timeline. The main difference being the creation of Arasaka, a corporation which was created back in the early 20th century. When that happened, the militarization of various corporations began its upwards ascent. Arasaka, specializing mostly in security services, essentially sold its services to just about any corporation that would have it. And as a result, corporations became more heavily militarized in terms of their security forces. They thought, why not use them? As such, as corporate warfare started to escalate in terms of the natural economic system of capitalism, various different corporations decided to use these militarized security forces to fight their own wars for them. At which point, the various different countries that existed that had their own militaries started to become more irrelevant and had a really hard time controlling these sorts of things. And as such, many of them ended up losing control over their various territories that instead decided to be ruled by the corporations as opposed to governments. Night City is one such city which believes that the key to a good life is to submit yourself to corporations. Be tolerant of them, to work for them, and to allow for them to create the world for you. Now, these wars are not without consequences. There have been a number of catastrophes that have occurred as a result of corporations having been running wild around the world, including the unchecked extraction of various natural resources that have caused a massive global environmental disaster. It's caused food shortages of all sorts. Some countries are no longer even on the map anymore as a result of various different hurricanes and such. Lots of people have found themselves going to various different independent city-states or even just independent states to attempt to live a full and complete life. And that, in and of itself, is a struggle. In this particular world, life is short unless you're rich. So the goal of most people is to become rich. Generally speaking, the only way to get there, the only pathway, by selling your soul to a corporation. This story is going to be following several different people who are a part of this world, who have their own various life goals that they wish to pursue, their own attitudes towards corporations, and their differing philosophies will help shape their futures together, however brief or long they may be. Here in Night City, there's lots of opportunities for jobs if you're skilled enough. One of the jobs that is available that is almost always necessary is the constant maintenance of the various different networks that exist within the city. These online networks are more or less localized. There is no global internet anymore as a result of all the various different places becoming wastelands and such. The fact that most cities have large deserts between them as opposed to any sort of roving fields of green and farmlands kind of destroyed the infrastructure of the internet at large. That being said, most cities have their broad level of internet access and their corporate level of internet access. These two things require constant maintenance and upkeep, and the various different corporations require a lot of troubleshooting to make sure that the other ones are not trying to get into their systems and perform any sort of corporate espionage. This is where one of our various edge runners makes his basic living on top of what he does in the shadows. Nova, take us through your morning as the alarm sounds off. What does this sound like? What is your living space situation? And what's your daily plan?
Nova, real name Ryan, lives in a cargo container outside of the city proper. It pretty much has enough of his utilitarian needs and his technological needs to do his work. He will wake up, make himself some tea in the microwave, wash up in the sink in the shower, and then get ready for his day. He will head outside, lock his cargo container, take a little walk to, is there public transport in this area?
There is.
Okay. Take some public transport to, within the city, and he'll meet up with his contact for the day to get today's work. And it can be a variety of different things. It's generally physical maintenance on various bits of equipment. It might be throughout the city. He generally works for Netwatch. Today's assignment will be to head up to the top of one of the towers, and do some maintenance on the antennas. He is a pilot who can use a small gyrocopter that will head up to the top of the tower. He rather enjoys the solitude of this. It's very nice to get a nice view of the city from up high. And he also gives him some solitude at work. He doesn't have people over his shoulder, which is nice. And in this case, he will head on over to the top of one of the towers, land his gyrocopter, get outside, and begin his work.
As you're working on the tower, your agent chirps at you, letting you know that you have a new message. Unknown source. Would you like to take this message, or would you like me to delete it and block the number?
Take the message.
Taking the message, you see the AR display in front of you as a message begins to play. An unfamiliar voice, but with a familiar accent, begins to speak at you. Speaking in Haitian Creole, the Message begins to speak. Good evening, Nova. Or rather, morning. Sorry. My sleep schedule is much different from yours. I had a very late night last night. I investigated something very interesting, something that I don't know if I want to bring up to the higher-ups just yet. I know you haven't done work for us in a little while, and I know that you like to maintain good relations. Wondering if maybe you're willing to look into something for me. I'm not certain what you're gonna need for this, but I'm sure you can get the resources necessary. Microtech brought in some new gear for some of the corporations in the city. And I was going through, making sure that I knew exactly where the back doors are located and such, just in case we need to get involved at any one point in the future. And something interesting happened. While I was going through the system, I got an odd message. It wasn't from a cyber deck or an agent or even a computer address that I am aware of. But it was a message nonetheless, and it was one that was sent to me as a greeting. It was a set of binary. Translated, it was a very simple message. It just said, hello. Now, I thought this might have been somebody trying to ward me away from the systems originally, and so I ignored it. But later on, throughout the evening, I received another message in the same binary. It said, who are you? Again, I ignored, thinking that it is somebody trying to mess with me. Or perhaps a system that was put in place as a result of the whole factory settings and such. Perhaps this is a new way that they set up their users. And then another set of binary gets sent to me, saying, who am I? It's at that point that I started getting very curious. Problem is, if I'm actually going to be investigating this in detail, I'm going to need to get into one of these buildings and use some of this new tech that these people have sent out. And honestly, the Voodoo Boys are not well invited into these high society type places. So, figured you might want to look into it. If you're interested, do feel free to contact us. I'll know when you're in the area.
Agent, please acknowledge the message to the original sender.
Acknowledged.
Send the following message. Message received. I'll be in touch soon. Just need to finish up my day work.
Sending message. Anything else today, sir?
That's all for now. Oh, bring up some pictures of Izzy.
What would you like to view, sir?
Random slideshow. From the beach.
Slideshow from the latest time that you and Izzy went to the beach. And the agent begins to play in the sort of side view as you're doing your work. Various pictures of you and what appears to be a lovely young Haitian woman enjoying some free time on the beaches of Night City. While we leave you to your work, let's head over to another fellow here. Now, some people are already members of these corporations. People become executives for all sorts of reasons. One of the main ones being, of course, the money, power, and influence that it involves. Some people get into it for different reasons, though. We are going to be following the story of one such person who has very unique reasonings for getting into the line of work that he has.
Can you show us a picture?
Whoops. Huh. It doesn't. It didn't save it. It didn't save in the actual thing. Strange. Mr. Bruce.
Yep.
You are coming into the office this morning, as you usually do. Little spring in your step, probably. You are aware that a promotion is due. Been working very hard for the past couple of months, and, well, your numbers definitely show it. As you go in through the security checkpoint, the first people who greet you, the security guards, who are dressed up in, well, enough flack to make you think that they're about ready to touch down on a war zone, give you a nod, and the somewhat disguised voices behind the masks say, "Good morning, Mr. Bruce."
Good morning.
What about the good news?
Yes, it's quite exciting, isn't it?
Expecting any special benefits?
I honestly can't say. This is my first time experiencing such a thing.
Well, let's hope negotiations went well on your behalf.
That's what we all hope for, isn't it?
Use your ID to get into the elevator. And find yourself going up to the 20th floor of Biotechnica International. Biotechnica is an interesting organization. Sorry, not Biotechnica. I am misremembering.
Rockland Augmentics.
Rockland Augmentics. Rockland Augmentics is an interesting corporation because they once were the forefront of various types of cyberware and cyber technological enhancements that people would use in the markets. Now, at some point in the 2030s, they ended up rebranding. And the rebrand focused less on the militarized aspects of cyber technological enhancements and augmentations, and more along the lines of fashion wear, tech wear, and making you look good in the 21st century. As such, the interior decorating of their headquarters is about as gaudy as one would expect. Neon signs blare the various different hallways, giving the average person headaches as they go through the various different pathways to their offices. You walk through what appears to be an incredibly large cubicle area where countless people are putting in various different numbers into all sorts of computers, tracking sales and various other accounting numbers that they need to keep track of. But you move past all of them, make your way to an office where, when you knock on the front door, you are called in by a fellow who appears to be carrying a box filled with his own personal affects. Though, as opposed to looking like he's a fired man, he has a bright smile on his face as he opens the door for you, picking his box up once more and offering a very large grin. Ready for your new job?
As ready as ever.
All right. Let me go ahead and give you the rundown. Let's make it as quick as possible because I have a brand new office with a scenic view of the ocean to get to. So, main thing you're going to do while you're here is make sure that nobody bitches, nobody complains. There's loads of different workers here that all have their various different lunch times and such. Just make sure they don't take any more than a half hour. Keep track of anybody who doesn't attend. If there's anybody who is late, make sure to mark them, give them some points for that. As the usual, it's 2 points for being late, it's 3 points for not showing up, and it's 4 points for a no-call, no-show. We do not accept medical reasons for absences, all those sorts of things, yada, yada, yada. It shouldn't be too much of a problem to keep track of all of that. Beyond that, we're also going to need you to compile all the various reports once everybody sends them in at the end of the day. If anybody doesn't, feel free to reprimand them in any sort of way, write down their names, whatever you need to do. And yeah, that's going to be about it. Whatever they end up compiling at the end of the day, just put it all into one document, send it up to the next floor, and you're done. Pretty easy job, pretty cushy.
I have to say, it sounds almost too good to be true, honestly, Donald say while stepping closer.
Yeah, the only problem is that you're kind of responsible for team morale, so to speak. Turnover can be a bit of a bitch. So what we kind of need you to do is make sure everybody feels nice and welcome. Make sure everybody does about as much as they can throughout the day. There's been a little bit of a slippage going down in productivity these days, so we're hoping to not only retain as many people as possible, but when we hire people on, we'd like them to stay. Unless, of course, they don't end up doing any work, and then we kick them out, the usual. So, go around, make everybody feel welcome. Try not to be too much of a hard ass. Be their friend. Tell them you're a part of the team just as much as they are. Everyone loves hearing that sort of shit.
I understand. I don't think it'll be too hard keeping up morale around here, he says confidently.
Oh, since you have acquired a managerial position, we need to make sure that you are also always on time. So we have assigned you a personal driver, a chauffeur, so to speak.
I get a personal driver?
Yes, indeed. Ryder, would you mind coming in here, please? A somewhat older gentleman, looking somewhat distinguished, though with an odd flat cap on his head, comes in and gives you a bow of his head. Good morning, sir. Pleasure to see you, and pleasure to meet you. I am Ryder, and I will be your personal chauffeur as long as you are here. He looks...
Ryder.
Yes, indeed. He looks to the other person that is currently leaving. Sir, would you mind giving us a moment so that I can get set up with the usuals? Right, of course. You two have fun, and not too much fun, right? Having too much fun, and you're not even working. All right! He heads out and closes the door behind him, and then Ryder kind of looks around for a moment before digging into his pocket and taking out some sort of small device and placing it on the sofa at the wall of your office. Okay. Now, while I am your chauffeur, sir, there is also some unofficial business that I am also authorized to do for you. It's one of the reasons why I get paid the amount that I do. I will not only take you from your home to work, but I will also ensure that if you have any business that needs to be taken care of throughout the rest of the city, that you will have transportation there as well. There are a number of company cars that we have access to. I can utilize some of them, though I do not have authorization for any of the heavy vehicles, so please try not to put yourself in the middle of a war zone for any particular reason. Secondarily, I also am in charge of maintaining all the various different vehicles that you are going to be utilizing. So, everything should be working in tip-top shape whenever they are necessary.
I understand. Mind if I ask you something, Ryder?
You may feel free, sir.
How long have you been working here?
I've been working at Rockland for a total of 5 years so far. I have worked many other chauffeur jobs in many other places. I used to be a nomad in my youth, but such a life did not appeal to me terribly much. I prefer the more convenient lifestyle of living within the city.
It's nice, all this beauty.
That's one way of putting it. I don't consider it terribly beautiful. Polluted, for one thing. Lights are gaudy. Even the red light district doesn't appeal to me terribly much. I'm more just interested in the fact that I don't have to go terribly far to find some food.
Yeah, that's always a nice bonus. Well, you sound like you're great with cars, and you sound like you sure as know how to drive if you're still alive. I look forward to working with you.
Of course, sir. He puts down what appears to be a small piece of paper. My contact information. Make sure you have that uploaded into your agent as soon as possible. Do feel free to contact me whenever you please.
Understood. And by the way, Ryder, he'll catch him before he heads out.
Yes, sir.
You can just call me Bruce if you want.
I think to not exacerbate our relationship, sir, considering how I'm already authorized to do some rather unofficial activity with you, I think I'd prefer to call you Mr. Bruce, at least for now. We'll see how the relationship goes from there.
Sounds fine by me. He'll say while beginning to input his information into his agent.
He gives you a slight nod before heading out of the office. As you get yourself situated for a new location, I need to make sure that I make sure your shit works. There we go. I'll put you right up here. Other jobs that exist within the city that people tend to take include those that are perhaps considered less civilized than others. There's a lot of freedom in being a solo, but there's also a lot of danger. Most solos consider themselves made men when they become the personalized bodyguards of high-up executives, but some prefer to remain nice and independent. Some prefer street justice. Some prefer to just be on their own, for whatever their reason might be. A solo is somebody who invests greatly in not only their skills with weaponry and armor, but also in their ability to navigate various different dangerous areas of the city and outside of the city. Dragon, take us through your morning routine.
Can we get a portrait, please?
Work? It did not. Great.
I'm making a token right now for it. Because I didn't get the chance to do so earlier. My morning routine, where am I exactly? Am I out in the west somewhere or in Night City itself?
Did you get a lifestyle at all?
Don't think so.
Great. So you probably can be wherever you want to be. Except for actually in a place.
Currently probably out in the west, still meandering about.
Alright.
Scavenging old ruins and whatnot. Or really anything.
There's a lot of places that can potentially be explored out in the wind. Solos know this, nomads know this, and many of the various different street rats that are trying to make a quick buck know this as well. The Fourth Corporate War left a lot of ruins behind when Night City initially suffered a nuclear blast back in the 2020s, and the rebuilding process has been incredibly rough. However, as a result, there's a lot of unclaimed booty out in the wastes. Booty which is somewhat dangerous to have. Whilst you're out here, you find yourself scouring through an old office building. Not Arasaka HQ as it once was, but one of the other various corporations that was unlucky enough to find themselves in the ground zero effects of the nuclear explosion that took out the original Arasaka headquarters. Whilst you are scavenging around, you're used to the quiet. There's nothing in the way of animals out here. There's nothing in the way of other creatures in general. In fact, if you were to hear something that would probably be more of a danger than anything else, wouldn't be a comforting thing. Scouring through, it seems that most things have been stripped, at least from this particular building. You're not seeing a whole heck of a lot that might be of interest to you. Unfortunate. You need a payday sometime here soon. It'd be super helpful if you were the hacking type. There are a couple of old nodes that seem to still exist. They'd need to be put back together in such a way that they'd be useful. But if they were able to do that, then you'd still probably need somebody pretty skilled in the actual act itself in order to actually get anything done or actually retrieve anything.
Make note of it in a little like steno notebook, like a little hand steno pad.
Whilst you are out here in the wastes, you find yourself hearing... Actually, roll me perception real quick.
Perception.
I just sent you a token, Lundy.
I got it.
If I can find where perception is in this fucking long list of skills. It's an awareness. There it is.
Okay. With 15, you don't hear anybody in the building with you, but you do hear the sounds of a potential problem coming from outside. You hear an engine rolling. You hear someone who has decided to take the muffler off of their vehicle. And you hear, over top of the incredibly loud noises that this particular vehicle is making, several voices yelling out in the embraced freedom of existing outside of society. Yeah!
Every time you do that, your fucking mic peeps and just pops right out.
I know. Doesn't matter. People on stream can hear that shit.
Just so fucking trash with that.
Yep, I've taken out all the noise cancellation stuff and all the cancellation stuff, all the suppression stuff. It doesn't matter. None of it works. Once I get the cloud lifter here, everything will be fun. Regardless, these folks are...
Is it and how many?
I
prop myself up to a darkened windowsill and kind of stay out of direct sunlight.
So what you're able to see appears to be a cruiser. The cruisers aren't the fastest things in the world, but they are essentially made for off-roading stuff. And as the cruiser is coming into view, you see that there is apparently one fellow who is up top on just standing on the roof with chains around his ankles that appear to be tied to the rooftop, who is in the midst of waving both of his hands in the air, his mouth hanging open, looking like he's having the time of his life. The two-seater is also filled with a couple of people. One appears to be male, one maybe female. It's a little difficult to tell from the distance you're at, but there's definitely a little bit more of a slender build on the inside of that thing. All of them are dressed in leathers, though they're a little bit too independent and out in the middle of nowhere to be nomads. So, likely, possibly some scavengers like yourself, though dressed in those sorts of leathers, they probably aren't the peaceful types.
I was questioning earlier whether or not I wanted to get the cyber for magnetics or go with binos, but since I'm still stuck on cyber, I'm going to say I did have a pair of binos on me to observe.
Okay.
Because that's something I would have had in my kit before the session started, but I didn't.
Binoculars, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still kind of piecemeal in my character, stuff it together.
So while you're dealing with these people who have decided to make themselves known in the general area you find yourself in, I've mentioned nomads a couple of times. What the hell are nomads? Well, nomads are people who find themselves at their most free when they are separated from the large cities, like Night City itself. That being said, they do have a tie to the various have-nots of the city. those who are just trying to get by in life, those who are just trying to make a living. The nomads don't have a problem with those types of people. That being said, if you are a street rat, that's not exactly something that they consider a point of pride. Nomads are clans, various different clans of people, families, who consider it of utmost importance to stay away from the corporations. Corporations are a drain on who you are as a person. They enslave you for profit and drain everything out of you until you are nothing more than an empty husk. At least, that's how they see it. K9.
Yeah.
Your superiors in your particular clan have informed you that there are some scavengers out here who may or may not be an issue. Your particular clan doesn't lay claim to any one individual section of land. But what they do lay claim to is the ability to protect themselves whenever they see it as a necessity. They would like to not get into fights if it's not necessary. After all, there's a limited amount of you, and firefights do tend to be pretty bloody in both directions. So you have been requested to go and scout and see what is going on, who these people are, and if they'd be willing to just, well, more or less get the hell out of here. What sort of vehicle are you driving as you're going to investigate this whole thing?
Okay, right now I'd probably drive like a smaller, not so suspicious looking car. Something rather based. 4 seats.
Okay. Something that can get you from point A to point B.
Without being, in the best case, without being noticed as strange.
You have yourself a little bit of an issue as you are arriving on the scene. You see this little cruiser that these weirdos are currently driving. You see one person chained to the top of it, though it doesn't seem like it's against his will from all things, from what you can observe. And you see that they are in the midst of doing donuts in the middle of a large section of open sand. Right in front of a few buildings that used to make up the old Corpo Plaza of Night City. How do you decide to approach this situation?
Okay, I slowly drive nearer till they see me. They have to see me. And then I stop the vehicle in like, I don't know, like 100 feet away, like this, and get out of the car and just watch them for a bit to let them see I'm no danger right now.
Dragon, you note just as your new company notes that a new vehicle has approached the area. This vehicle is definitely made for off-roading, and the person inside, from what you can tell using your binoculars, does seem to be much more of the nomad type. His leathers are a lot more distinct, and his colors indicate a very specific dedication and loyalty. It would not be uncommon for those that are not part of nomads to be approached by those who are in these sorts of areas to indicate whether or not they are there to either be a threat or be trouble in general. No necessary fighting needs to occur here, but it all kind of depends on how either you or this guy ends up handling these three.
I know the leathers and distinctly recognize the colors. Not not necessarily the person itself. Um, is there any indication that the hooligans are fucking approaching?
The hooligans have pulled to a stop. The guy who is standing on the top of the car is steadily unchaining himself. And as he hops off of the car, he kind of gets his balance after a moment where he starts yelling, "Whew! Tell you what! That is a trip! Getty! We need to get you up there next! I don't want to be up there. I'm going to get sand everywhere.
How
So,
far away are they from me?
they're probably about, I mean, you're probably on like the second office building. They're probably about like around.
So the other vehicle would be like 150, 175 feet away from me.
More like 200.
200. Okay.
Canine, you got one of these guys adjusting his pants a little. What you want there, big dog?
Seems like you're having fun, huh?
Yeah, that's the whole point of it, eh?
Yeah, it looks rather funny. But you know, this is what we call our territory. You ever heard of that?
I don't see your name nowhere.
Sorry, you
Get right up, yeah.
clicked away.
I don't see your name nowhere.
Well, but you may see the colors I'm wearing.
Yeah, so? That's supposed to impress me?
It should. Yeah, it should. Really. You know, I don't want no trouble. I can see you're having fun, and I like that. Of course, I like that. But maybe you could have that fun somewhere else, you know?
Well, I'm sorry, but I thought all you guys were about freedom and against the whole idea of ownership of territory and buildings and all that crap.
Do I see any weapons being leveled at the
At the
nomad?
moment. They're just kind
Any
of...
weapons on them at all?
there are... Examining them, go ahead and give me another kind of a scan. Don't see them having any seem to be afraid of them, but in the back of their does appear, and there is a clear bulge in the back of the pants of the fellow who was riding on top of.
And you'd probably see that I wear a heavy pistol on my side, open, not hiding.
We ain't trying to cause any problems out here. We're just trying to have ourselves a bit of fun. But if you want to make a problem...
No, I don't. It's just... You know...
Well, you can go ahead and get right the fuck out of here. We ain't bothering you, so you ain't got to bother us.
Well, the reason I'm here is because you bothered us. And people like you tend to make problems. So... find somewhere else. Find someone else to drag into your shit.
Knowing where this is going, I have a grenade in my slung grenade launcher prepped at the vehicle itself. As soon as they make as soon as they make a move to attack the machine gun or that fucking bulge from the back of that guy's pants, I'm fucking shooting.
I like it.
Well, in that case, roll a conversation check.
Oh, okay.
You know, I was having a really nice day, and these fucking rowdy motherfuckers were just serving my piece.
They start chuckling at you. Guy shouting at you to the other. Start laughing. All right. Tell you what, man. We'll get our asses out of here if you don't mind playing a little game with us.
Letty, what do you have in mind? I'm down for that.
It's back on top of the car. I am back. So this time he's now facing towards the back of the vehicle. Front. We're gonna play ourselves a nice little game of dance using cars. Doesn't that sound fun?
I think you have to explain that further.
Oh, don't worry, you'll learn the rules
Where
real
you
quick.
are.
Engine on their vehicle starts to
I
rev.
think I'll figure it.
Got the safety off my grenade launcher.
As their
That's
engine
right.
starts
Thank
Red fire.
as their engine starts to rev. It's down top of abs onto the mounted machine gun.
And how far away is the Nomad from the vehicle that I'm about to?
He's
Light up
he's
with
he's
grenade.
another 100 feet away.
So should be perfectly fine. Yeah, he'll be fine. I let the fucking grenade loose at him. I don't know what.
Go ahead and give me
exact
a heavy weapons check.
heavy weapons
Boom.
check. I do not have skills in that, but you know. Where is it? Range heavy weapon.
That is in ranged weapon.
I'm gonna just go ahead and just spend 7 luck on this right now.
6.
I've got 7.
She says
No,
6.
Yeah, you're right. But I thought I had fucking 7. Yeah.
Gotcha.
No, thanks for correcting me.
Woohoo!
But
Oh.
did I even get that 7?
Like, what the fuck?
The first attack roll of the game, as the engine on the troublemaker's car starts to rev, and you find looking down the barrel of a heavy machine back, there is the very faint sound of a thunk.
I know that sound.
About half a second later.
Right as the guy on top of the is about to back on his chain. All right, get ready to dip as the explosion goes off. So let's try and this is a part assault rifle that you have. It's like an
Yeah.
Part thing?
Under barrel. It says it does 60.
there it is.
Damage.
6.
Plus it's armor penetrating grenade.
Plus
if that makes
6
any
for
difference.
It's just Marcus again with a grenade launcher.
So yeah, not entirely. But we're gonna go ahead and just say that grenade essentially launches not only in actually crashes the driver's side, both of the driver and the passenger having enough before the and vast majority of the car then the guy strapped to the top of the car goes flying as platform eyes off, yelling the entire time before it's flat, just hands on the ground or slamming down on top of him as he lands.
What a waste of a machine gun.
Well, that was fun. They were right. Was a fun game.
So if I was second story window, I'm gonna take my grappling hook and just grappling down outside the building. Just kind of walk on over to the wreckage.
Yeah, K9, while you're investigating, all just happened. See, figure, office building.
Hand on my pistol. I look on the side of the car. I look over. I knew you. Wanna play too?
I'm not interested in you, nomad.
Well, you better be. You see what I did to them.
Huh, funny guy, huh?
So no, jokes aside, I assume that was you that helped me out there, right?
Yes.
I don't want to be ungrateful. Thank you very much. I'm sure I could have handled that myself, but a little help is always welcome.
Well, we're all trying to survive out here on your own way.
Yeah. So, what are you up to? Why are you here?
Haven't really figured that part out yet.
Interesting. You know, in the end, I'd have to ask you the same that I asked them, to not make trouble here.
I tilt my head and say, really? I just made a whole ton of trouble.
Yeah, I can see that. So are you leaving then, or do you... Can I get you somewhere as a thank you and to get you out of my territory?
Chuckles at that. Is there anything on that vehicle that fucking really survived intact?
Given the grenade went into the driver's side window and the roof off, most likely not. Probably need a lot of scrap in order repair whatever this is. What's left probably actually as scrap as opposed to its own.
What the mounted machine gun that got blown off? Any
Well, unfortunately, that also got taken out in the explosion. That being said, kind of go over. The fellow underneath, while smashed, does at least have some cyberware. If you're not against the idea of cutting off some pieces and finding a rip, sell it to.
That sounds like an idea. It's not like I have any tech skills to disassemble it, but I do have tools. Cybertech would be the appropriate skill to roll for ripping it off.
Um,
Carefully? Or do I just cut it off?
Don't need to be careful with the corpse.
I would say Cybertech start. Mostly just his hand and sure one of his eyes.
Okay, I'll make a Cybertech roll then, and I'll cut him out.
Pulls out a melon baller.
Getting the hand off isn't screws. You are gonna have a little. As far as the eye is concerned, though, goddamn. Oh.
Now the skull's fractured, which it probably is.
Or getting it out without having a really.
I'll drag this body, like, and bury it inside a fucking building. Maybe I'll come back for that later.
That being said, closest Ripper Doc is probably in walking there. It's Nomad.
I'll take the body with me then, if you don't mind, Nomad.
I don't mind. I can get anything into the city unnoticed.
Pretty penny for your trouble,
So-
maybe.
No,
Yeah.
it's alright. Seems like you saved my life.
Yeah, I would take you up on that assessment.
So you're good to go? Or
Yeah.
you still need
this is-
something?
Nope. Buddy, don't. The
Perfect.
building don't have jack shit in it anyway that I can recover.
Nah, sadly. Then hop in. I'll help you get the body, like, in the back or something.
Wherever you got space. Strap it to
Yeah.
the top of the hood if you really feel keen.
As hidden as possible.
Right, I mean, he did seem like he was the kind of fellow who loved riding on top.
Yeah. But I don't know if the cops like it.
I wouldn't know either. It's been a while since I've been in the city.
No, you've come from around here?
Combat zone lifer.
Ah. Yeah, I know some guys. There, yeah. It's a tough place.
Mr. Santos. Santos, you have been more or less quiet, or unless somebody decides. And your chief comes by and taps your desk for a moment. Santos, we got a call. Something that.
Portrait, please.
What?
There's an kind of a middle management exec over at Mitsubishi Hugo. Apparently, it ain't. They're wanting people to kind of get. Apparently, his last known location, gas station out near Santo Domingo. We were wondering if we've got a few different patrol cars looking, but ain't nobody coming. This whole thing. Mind.
Well, get me the files on what they have, and I'll do what I can.
For sure. Kind of. Hey, Sandy!
What?
Send the file over to Domingo. Over to Santos. After a few minutes, you get it. Gives you the. It appears that this particular executive, Chant, that is the last. That is the main. There are a couple of pictures, social media, streaming. Likes to perform various different types of stunts. Going in incredibly high speeds, and sometimes riding on either the hood or the.
I look at my boss, and my immediate reaction is saying, "Are you sure he just didn't kill himself?"
I mean, that's a possibility, but we got to make sure, or at least make it look like.
I'll give it 2 weeks, then we can close the case. But let's make an attempt.
Look, main thing right now, if some raiders decide to come into the outskirts of the city, going a little bit nutso, and they've got some, I don't know, exec boy's head on top of one of their cars, that's going to look real bad on us. Okay? So just give it a go. Okay?
I'll try. I'll do my best, but this I'll make sure, but I do not. I'll try to take the least amount of responsibility for this one. Uh, then I stand up from my desk and I take the files with me and go to my car. And if there's no additional information I have to get from anybody here, I'll go to the location where he was last seen.
There's some ping information that's. You can upload this to your agent and then scanner. Essentially, this is information. Cyber guy it's known to. So if you are anywhere close to it, start pointing it.
I'll take that and go to the gas station.
Why do I get the feeling I just blew that dude up?
Because he just blew that dude up.
Yeah, I'll go to the gas station, try to get in, try to talk to the guy in charge or the registrar, whoever is there.
You get some more information as you go to the station and ask some questions. So we had that kid come in a little bit earlier. Say he was going to go ahead and find a nice place to shoot some. I'm not entirely certain what the whole deal was. He had some chains on the car. I don't know what. Explain it. But he said he was heading out in the desert. Probably out in that direction. Ain't back now. Probably got killed by some raiders. I told him not to. I warned him.
Oh, totally. Men likes to take suicidal turns, it seems, and to post them on the internet. He doesn't have a very big sense of preservation. Can you tell me where he went?
Well, like I said, probably out there in the desert somewhere. He said he's gonna find himself a nice open place so he can shoot some videos. I don't know exactly what the whole plan was in terms of what exactly he was shooting, but he said it was something about high speed stuff. I'll doing some stunts, whatever the hell. Oh, I'm not sure. Could be anywhere out there, as far as I know.
Works. I'll open his social media and see if he has like a place he often goes to shoot his videos in the desert.
going through. Can I? Action.
Totally. The question is, what will you do? Okay, there it is.
Patience game.
Yep.
It's difficult to say. He seems to like places where there's like, I don't know, where there's old buildings at the very least, either abandoned or otherwise. So probably some place where there used to be population. Maybe some of the destroyed districts, outskirts of the city. So probably not. He probably didn't go too far out into the scenery.
I'll go looking. I'll try to narrow it. I also have I have a way to communicate with the police. I have a communicator on me. So I'm gonna call the well my coworkers basically and tell them to look upon places with those specifications, like not that far from the city, currently abandoned but big enough. And once I have people scattered on those kind of places, I'm gonna go there look for some myself in my car.
Start making. See, there is not the same vehicle. You have the scanner hooked up to your. You get a ping at the cyberware of this fellow's son.
Do I, like, by instinct know if this is a place that people go through often, or is it weird that there are people coming from wherever the fuck this is leading to the city?
That is also going to be a decision.
Cool. Skills. Education, deduction.
Usually people don't come in here. Some people do come in from out of town. Coming in highway, still relatively. That's not.
I'm going to make another call. I'm gonna tell them to try and block the roads, or at least like put a post that people have to check in before the people in the car go too far.
Your captain's. Are you serious right now? You want me to start blocking off roads?
I am not asking you to start blocking off roads. I want you to delay people.
You're asking me to set up checkpoints.
I want you to set up a checkpoint. Yes, that's what I'm asking you. I have a ping, I have a lead, and I don't want this.
Well, you know what? Maybe you should follow that ping, follow that lead, not ask me to send out God knows how many officers. You know, we don't have that much manpower in the first place.
You only need to put 2 guys, and then you have a reason to anyway. You're right, I shouldn't be trusting this anyway. And I straight up spin the wheel, press the brakes, and I'm going to start chasing that car.
Do I have eyes on this guy then? This vehicle exiting the city?
You and K9 would see the IP police cruiser of passing you guys, and within a few moments has, and yeah, NCPD, my bad. Within moments of him passing you, you hear like the sounds of like tires screeching, and the vehicle start to turn to chase you.
I tell the Nomad, pull off the city. Drive around, lose this guy. It's a damn cyber that he got.
Oh, so they are pulling over.
No, we're not pulling over. We're fucking losing your ass.
Oh yeah, hit the brakes.
So K9, are you going to be attempting to lose this particular officer?
I'm sorry, I forgot I was muted.
All good.
Yeah, of course.
Alrighty. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do this little car chase. Mr. Santos, K9, what I'm going to require is posed pilot lane.
I have that music request put in.
It's ready.
Oh, gosh darn it.
Woo!
There you go.
That's my thing. What I'm here for.
Santos, you start chasing this vehicle, and almost immediately becomes apparent that whoever is driving this thing is a guy. They are making sharp 90-degree turns. They are skidding along the roads. They are able to go a lot faster than you in basically the same speed. He is avoiding any of the main roads, going down back roads. He up off of the road sometimes, going back up the Charter Hill, making his way back on elsewhere. Is doing his best to get away. It's making a lot of progress on that point as well.
As soon as he hits that fucking first sharp 90-degree turn, because my leg was up on the dashboard, I was like, ah! Take my leg off the fucking dashboard.
I just picture Cyberpunk Dukes of Hazzard. That's how fucking hard he smoked you.
Yeah, I'm going to grab the phone. I haven't hung up. Like, he should be hearing all this movement. Yeah, I'm running. I think this is relevant.
God requested checkpoints to straight up be in a chase.
So how are you reacting? Like what is your strategy right now, considering that you apparently can't outdrive this guy? Back to try find some sort of alternative catch these guys.
Sorry. I should probably have. This is a police vehicle, probably, or from the security company I'm working for. So it probably has a tracker, right?
Yes.
I am going to tell him. I'm going to tell him. I'm going to keep. So they are running away, pretty capably. I think that checkpoints would have been a good idea, but you probably should send someone forward, and I am going to try to basically not only protect. I'm going to try and tell them to just put cars or put people to help me chase them and basically approximate from where I'm chasing them.
All right.
Is there any check that I can make to disable the cyberware?
Yes. That will be cyber tech roll. I
Well, it's not gonna go well. Yep.
That's no good. You go into the hand and start trying to find a way to disable.
It
also occurs
vehicle. I
got a corpse in the back that also has a cyber eye in it. Have to probably get into that to probably shut that fucking signal. You're gonna need like an expert.
Well, I chuck the hand out the fucking window and I go to the corpse in the back. If it's like a trunk situation, or then I'll try and fucking acrobatics my way to the trunk, I guess.
Okay, all right. Go ahead and make me an athletics check.
I'm driving as steady as I can.
Be funny if the back seat just folded down.
Well, I mean, I check the interior of the car first to see if I can't access the truck from inside. I don't know the vehicle, so.
All right, with the athletics skill, still 13. So you
Well,
are you kind of like throw open the door as you guys are making this drive. So Santos, you see the door on the passenger side, like see a man start to step out of the car as it is driving away. See this sort of like cloaked figure into kind of like crawl his way across the car over toward. Before that even happened, saw some sort of object getting thrown out of the window first.
Do I have any idea what it was at that speed?
Give me a perception when he up.
Okay. This is perception.
Yeah, that was a hand.
Yeah.
Saw a hand come out. Now, granted, it was a cyber hand. It was a very obvious like metal hand. You also saw it like cling clang on the front of you as it fell out. Actually picked up some sparks as it was skipping along the asphalt. Yeah, that was definitely a hand that got thrown out.
So while like the hand is being thrown, I'm gonna put like the detector for the cyberware right besides my ear so that the commissioner can clearly hear the ping.
I hear the ping. I'm sending
I
people
take the
out
body
there.
Out of the trunk.
Yeah.
Directly in front of
As you're
Santos's car.
as you're reporting back the ping, like, I see, I'm onto something. I know I'm onto something here. The ping happened, and then the trunk flies open, and you see the cloaked figure toss out the corpse of the body onto the road. Make me, Santos, make me a drive land vehicle check to not just run over the dead corpse.
Oh no! Okay, amazing, great.
CPD's dispatch is laughing their head off right now. Just absolutely just.
It's some elaborate
So-
break set up by them.
You manage to swerve around the dead body as it gets thrown back at you like a Mario Kart weapon. So the dead body is now behind you, as well as probably its hand. Are you still giving chase to them, or are you going to try and recover the body? Those are the questions. You do have backup being sent to your position.
Great. I'm gonna say you should also send paramedics. We found the corpse.
What the fuck good are paramedics going to do for a corpse, Santos?
Who else do you want picking up the corpse? The fireman.
I'm flipping him with the bird as I fucking shut the trunk and get back in the passenger seat.
This bitch is just flicking me the bird. What the fuck?
I have to say, I just love that the lawman here is just sort of this slightly panicked, disheveled, kind of out of his element fella, and I'm looking at this portrait of like the biggest edgelord
Yeah.
in the world. It's just incredibly funny.
Uh,
I imagine Thorium's character is still up on the cell tower seeing this fucking car shit's happen.
yeah, you guys are definitely around, drawing some eyes for sure. While this car chase is going on, there are live streams, kind of like starting to actually chase a bit. Some people who are trying to keep up with guys who are also kind of recording the whole thing, being like, I'm reporting to you live from Night City right now. This is fucking insane. I just saw a fucking corpse.
At this point, Ryan has probably wrapped up most of his work. He's like, okay, this is uh, Netguard is going to just have to understand for a little bit, and he's going to get back into his gyrocopter, and he's going to try to get some eye in the sky on this, and then
Oh god, he's just a wackatoo now.
he can actually do aerial footage on this, and this will be funny. He's like, well, this footage is at least funny, at least good for somebody. At least maybe I could sell it. So he's going to take the gyrocopter, and then just gawk, basically. Try to get some recordings.
How far is the gyrocopter, and do I notice it? Is the question.
The gyrocopter is going to keep a safe distance away from any small arms fire. He's not looking to do any of that.
It's not terribly difficult to notice it. It is kind of far away. I would say probably like several hundred feet in the air at this. As it is starting to. Well, you're kind of like you get your binoculars out at it. It's a gyrocopter sponsored by that internet company, from what you recall.
I flipped the gyrocopter to the bird.
Ryan's just gonna laugh. My day got a lot more interesting. He's gonna film around. He's probably gonna find the cop car that's just not really doing a great job of he's probably like fishtailing and all that and shit, trying to keep it together.
No, after that body, he probably was fishtailing.
Yeah, he was probably fishtailing. He was probably just having a rough go of it.
That tech's having a hell of a time right now. Is now one of their gyrocopters is going to be on these live streams. Currently being seen hovering a good distance away from the car that's being pursued. This is just so
We lost Santana.
Unfortunately.
well, in the process, there are several more. And there are people who are chasing you to record you. There are people chasing you to arrest you. It's like you brought something really bad and just.
I'm used to that.
Till Nomad. Scrap the fucking city. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, probably better.
We're
With
drawing
that
too
much
much hate.
attention.
Ryan sees them heading out into the Badlands. He's certainly not going to. It's a short range aerial vehicle, so he's not going to certainly chase them out into the Badlands. He just wanted to just take a look at the insanity that was going on. And he's going to go just pilot himself off to his next, the next tower that he's meant to be working at.
Still rolled maximum.
Like, Jesus
yeah.
Christ. Like, you two just don't stop with the luck.
So takes a decent bit, but Kane are able back toward. That's when all the sort of like live stream ops.
As they slow down and I drive away, I give them the middle finger.
I mean, it's been going pretty well. I didn't expect that to happen.
Dragon says over to the Nomad, you bet. Well, that's what I get with it. That's what I get trying to bring unknown cyber into the fucking city. Some fucking mega equip bullshit. Would have made a good scratch too.
Yeah. I don't know much about that. But it seems like,
Not worth the risk.
yeah. I wonder who he was. He seemed like a normal fuck you would meet around here.
I wouldn't know nothing about that. He died pretty quick though. Arrogant, cocky
Yeah.
bastard.
Yeah, not really tough.
Yeah. That all it took? Flew through the air 50 feet and landed on your face while getting crushed by a car roof. Walk it off.
So, okay.
All right, Santana, are you back?
I am back. I am back.
Okay.
Sounds like
For who have been joined by several. Tempted to.
Yeah.
You got a little quiet, Lundy.
Sorry. A fucking microphone. Using it right now. So, Santos, you watched as the vehicle that a hell of a U-turn, and made its way back to the highway to exit back out of the city. As they started to go back out into the lot of officers, kind of captains. If they're heading back out into the desert, you let them go out into the desert. I'm not sending my men out there. That's not how we do things.
Okay. I mean, it's not my jurisdiction, anyways.
Yeah, it's not ours either. Listen, go back to wherever the hell that corpse fell out of. Meet up with the paramedics. Make sure everything's in order. All of his pieces are accounted for. And we'll send the body back to the dad. Hopefully, you can we'll just blame it on Booster.
Oh, absolutely.
God damn.
Should we say that this chase was totally unrelated?
I don't think you're gonna manage that. I mean, I'm looking right here. There are at least 20 different live streams of people who recorded that corpse,
including one in the sky somehow.
Yes, but on the other hand, we kinda let the killers go, so I don't know what we're gonna do.
All right. We're gonna say that after some further investigation, found out that victim was killed outside of the city by raiders, and after being killed outside of the city, his body was being brought in by scavengers looking to sell his parts. And since we acquired the body, scavengers no longer had the parts available. Raiders are still out there, and we'll probably use that to reinforce a message.
Yeah.
We'll reinforce a message to not go out into the wasteland.
Give me a second.
That's what I'm thinking.
We lost him again.
No.
On that point, I said nomad. Maybe next time the fuckboys in Night City will stop fucking coming out here like idiots.
Yeah. They have to.
Well, they really need some positive reinforcement. As in, positively do not fuck around in here.
Yeah.
Fucking tourists.
It was quite a move you pulled there.
Oh, which one?
All of them. Like, basically, was amazing. you're skilled, right? You're not just some weirdo who runs around alone.
You could say I did have done a lot of both over the years. I'm certainly for hire if you got a job.
I don't particularly know, not in the moment. Maybe I would say your best chances are in the city.
Well, I kind of blew that chance.
Well, not. I mean, we could switch cars and try another route. If you really want to get into the city.
Well, I have been looking for work in the last few months, and I've been coming out empty in the wastes.
Yeah, the wastes are called that for a reason. Yeah.
Head out and leave. Right of the fence. Day is kind of
Okay, now that the workday is over, I will turn in my gyrocopter and drop it off at one of the many Netcar locations within the city.
when you drop it off. Just so you know, higher up said that after that wouldn't happen.
Man. What kind of news stream?
Apparently there was a car chase happening earlier.
Oh, I saw a lot of smoke when I was en route. I'm building 284 to Tower 879.
All right. Well, I have been now. Reminder.
Understood. I wasn't. I have a feeling this is where the good rolls end. Persuasion. There it is. Cool, being my worst stat. Let's see. Clickaroo. Let's spend a little luck. I think I need it. It's like, I'll put 3 luck into this. Because I don't think my day's over yet.
Regardless.
We'll do. You too, man. Sounds like I don't buy it, but I'm not really worth arguing over it. It's my read. So Ryan is gonna grab public transport and then head over to, as far as it will take him, over to Pacifica.
Sitting around. Public transport.
Yeah. Well, he knows the area, so he is familiar with this area. So I imagine he would know the safer ways to come and go and how to communicate with people.
Yes. Careful.
Will do, man. Thank you. He will remain alert, or will remain alert as he goes about his business, but non-confrontational. He's going to make his way to his contact point, which I imagine is probably some I imagine is some sturdy metal door in looks like a service access to an old what do you call it? Highway tunnel. Give it a knock.
After a couple. Fine.
Ryan's going to respond in literate Haitian Creole. Hey, bless up, my brother. Just looking for the big man. Expecting me?
Show a name.
Nova Pop.
Oh. Hey, boy.
That's right.
How'd you let that one go?
I didn't let her go. She let me go. What do you think?
Lighter clothes. Not dressed.
Yeah, I heard you got a message from. Boys, go ahead and head inside. Know what you're looking for, and
Will do. You got your agent with you?
yeah, why?
I got some funny shit to show you.
Yeah.
I sent him some of the. Well, first what I'm going to do is I'm going to strip out all the metadata from the video I took that I can that might identify myself and my copper and where I am. I'm just going to send him some brief highlights of some of the clownery that I filmed. Just do a quick little clip here, clip there, and send it over to his agent.
What the fuck kind of crazy motherfuckers out here doing? What in the hell?
Paused on the clip of Dragon fucking flipping the bird to the
Yeah,
gyrocopter.
yeah. There's that. And he's like, yeah, I didn't appreciate that. It was quite the clown show out there.
These boys fucking slamming it out here. God damn. Looks like a nomad thing.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, usually don't see Johnny Law out there though. And maybe we know why they don't see Johnny Law. Holy shit, this guy can't drive with the shit.
Hey, what you gonna do? Some people grow up on doing a particular skill they get really good at. Look at us.
Well, that's true. Well,
Don't grow up. Not quite as good. Unfortunate.
well, hey, stick to what you know sometimes. But
One in, boy.
all right, see you later.
Kind of. Not only do you.
I'll chuckle a little bit as I watch by. Yeah, I saw that earlier. I'm also speaking in Haitian Creole the whole time. Yeah, I saw that earlier. It's funny shit.
Essentially. Hey, bright boy. What can I get for you?
Hey, here to see Big Man. Can you let him know Nova Pop's here?
You're a big man here?
He asked for me. I'm just making a name here. This is what whoever it was who called me.
All right. I'll go let him know. You're left alone. Anybody else? But so as such. Strapped. Correctly. Eventually. Requesting
Head right up there.
boy, here the other day.
Thanks for letting me know. She doing well, I hope?
Doing alright. Man in her life.
Mm.
Seems she got it tight. Can't want to voodoo.
Please tell me he's not a lawman.
Oh no. Still, as a kind of a small build like you.
Well, I wish her the best.
I let her know you said it.
Yeah, that's what I say.
There are a couple arms. Over, go just had a chance to
Just-
work quickly yet.
Yeah, good to see you, big man. Haven't seen him around a bit. Been doing the a 9 to 5 thing for at least a little while. Things got a little hot for a bit.
I don't know how you
Well,
handle
well, sometimes the calm makes you appreciate the storm, or is that the other way around?
Black Stone.
Well, what can I do for you?
Oh. Got some. Mostly, I ain't shared this. Possibility. Yes, to me. There are people. I don't know. I grow. I don't know. ICE program. What? ICE programs. Aston. Color me fucking. Spider security don't. Spider security see. Fuck you, Van Hammer. And that's it.
It could be a couple of things. Could be information gathering. Could be an intel op. Or you could just be seeing ghosts. Hard to tell. Hard to tell. You were right to come to me with this. Can you Send the information to my agent.
A lot of information that I can give you, but I'll do what I can. It's
Okay. Ryan's going to put this as potentially malicious code into a specific container within his agent in order for preservation and analysis later. I'll know more about this when I put it under the microscope. But let's talk about anything else that might be relevant. You make any new unusual enemies lately?
not normally. Right now, everything's pretty calm for the most part. Most of the various different other gangs are kind of doing their own thing. Everything's real chilled. That being said, chill sometimes something's gonna happen. Something that I don't see coming. You know.
The worst hack is the one you don't know about. Wonder if this is some new type of zero day.
Can't be certain until. Problem is, all that Militech tech just got taken out of our warehouses. We don't have access to it no more. And honestly, getting in and finding a sort of foundational programming gonna be a real big bitch.
Imagine so. Well, do me a favor. See if you can get some of the boys, some of the net runners to do subtle information gathering around this. Nothing that'll tip their hand. Observation only, no touch sort of stuff. See if we can find any similarities between these messages and something that might have shown up on the net earlier. Very few things come out of nowhere. Most things get tested somewhere, and sometimes that stuff leaks out. It gets leaks out, or it gets stolen, and then it gets published. So it might be somewhere public we don't know about.
I be think. Not often, other companies having to buy technology, workstation, things like that. Those things are necessary for just about Kari heavy industry, i.e., micro guys. They've got a big position in the market. They don't produce necessarily commercial products that is average person. So I'm thinking either Microtech made put into, or someone made something, put them into Micro. Either way, point is, there's something worrying. Monitoring. I'm thinking might be some sort of program spy on workers of get information on what it is. That's my thoughts anyway.
A good first thought. Here's another idea. Something you might want to put the boys on. You familiar with the supply chain attack?
Remind me.
One way to compromise the security of a network is through the supply chain. This is through the very basics of moving around chips, usually hardware, that you can then get in the middle of somewhere. Say a truck goes off the road somewhere, gets scanned, gets down stuff on there gets downloaded, schematics get put out there, then that truck gets sent on its way. Now you know a little bit more about that hardware than is obvious. Nice thing about the supply chain attacks is they don't need to take much, sometimes no tech whatsoever to pull off. but they can yield a lot of very useful information. If that's the sort of if that happened, even these chips or wherever, if they were putting them in clandestinely as you thought, or using some programming, it might be done as part of a supply chain attack, or that's something we can exploit on our own. I would say search through any past business that might have done something like that, and see if we can correlate that with any of these suspicious terminals. We might get a fragment of some of this rogue code. That's going to take a little bit more resources and manpower than I'll have at my disposal personally. What I can do personally is analyze this code myself.
That's going to put a lot of the boys outside of their comfort zone. You know, if it's going to take a little bit more for you or resources, I've got a fixer friend. He's well connected in the city. Knows a lot about a lot. Not a lot of people know a lot about him, though. Job like that. He might be able to provide for you whatever it is that you to be men on the inside. Other people know how to do. Don't. Whatever that might be.
Good plan.
Yeah, I don't really know. I don't really want to put most of the boys on. Maybe chasing, shadowboxing. That's the moment I start putting a bunch of our resources on something that might be nothing. Moment some of the boys start thinking that wait around.
Gotcha.
That's why I contacted you in the first place, Mike.
No problem. We'll keep this out of your hair.
Got a boy named Julian. British boy. Lives over in Haywood. Real rich boy. Well connected. Apparently he's got loads of contacts and all sorts of corp. You go talk to him and you tell him what you need. He'll find you ways to get it.
Will do. Well, with this information plus a fixer, well, we'll fix you right up.
Sound good. Once we get more, I don't know, exact information on what it is we deal with, then maybe we...
Makes sense, big man. Well, I'll get right on it. Oh, well, actually, before I get right on it, want to see something funny as hell?
You talking about that car chase from before? I already saw it from at least 3 different angles.
Well, here's a fourth. I sent him the. I just sent him the copies of the funny shit I got.
Thing is, that boy in the big old cloak, I be seeing him round these parts sometimes. I think he's a solo.
Well, he's pretty much okay with violence, so that would be my guess.
He the type of boy that don't be rolling with no crew specifically. He dress up so fucking crazy, nobody mess with him, you know? Doesn't hurt that he also carries big old fucking weapons with him.
Yeah, fair enough. That is a scary man. You know, clearly a fighter. Me? I'm a lover.
So I've heard. How you doing after Easy anyway? Find another lady?
No, not yet. Still nursing the pain of a broken heart.
From what I heard, that shit was mutual.
Well, I guess we're just living different lives now, you know. She's committed to you boys, and well, I'm still figuring things out. I guess she wanted a little more commitment.
Puts her in a pretty fucking weird position, you know. She's a part of the gang. You ain't no voodoo boy. Never be a voodoo boy. Much as I like you, you ain't one of us. You still got a home. You still got a connections. You got, your world. We come here. We carve out a place for ourselves. We start letting white boys in. We ain't voodoo boys no more. No.
You know the original voodoo boys were white boys, right?
Maybe. But we don't need to follow that tradition.
Well, here's a tradition we can both agree on. Fuck these corporate bullshit, and let's go make some money.
Sound good. You go talk to Julian, get yourself set up. And then we working on how to use this info to our
Will do. Bless up, big man. Catch you later.
Hey boy.
All right, he's gonna make his way back out. And at this point, he knows how to clandestinely exit the headquarters in a way that's basically safe. Get himself back to public transport and vamonos.
After you time has passed.
With the mortuaries at this point, probably.
Yeah. That being said, if Cyberhand that was done. Either some found him.
So, are there any? Can we search for like fingerprints? See if it who made this is in any kind of grid.
Body when they. That being said, knife that something practice every. The unfortunate thing, a lot of people buy knives, especially for probably.
Then I am going to go for the second people with the most. First, I'm going to talk to my commissioner. uh, after that, and say, okay, so we found the body. Do we open an investigation on this? Do we let it go? What are we gonna do?
Here's what I want to do. He wants to know what happened,
Great.
or at least come up
Then,
with a story that makes sense for him.
well, for now, you can offer him as a theory that he went to film a video and he was at the wrong place at the wrong time. He seemed to have died from extremely blunt trauma, so there are two options. He either crashed and died, or somebody crashed with him and they both died. But anyways, or the person survived. Anyway, somebody took the organ, somebody took the his cyberware, but it was confirmed to be post-mortem. It was not the cause of death. So he died, probably in a crash, and somebody extirpated the cybertech, basically. You can stick with that. I'll disguise it as theory. I'll make other arrangements.
In terms of folks that you, I don't really want to get mixed up with those guys. Just gotta asking for. That being said, the other guy, that was not a nomad. In any colors, the leathers were wrong. Seemed to be a lot more. I don't know. So, not gonna find much on the car. Maybe not the drive. That's not gonna. That's gonna. But in terms of that fella that you saw with the cloak, that's a lot more distinct. I'd probably start looking around, asking around if anybody. Chances are good if he hasn't already caused a stir, might have a place in island parts of this case. You might find yourself in a combat zone. That, well, let's just say you're going to want to bring some protection with you.
I'm going to first ask the media, see if he has appeared on any kind of filming, see where he frequents, if I can get a better image of the guy, get an ID.
Question is, what me ask? All of them go to any of the corpos. A guy like that probably wouldn't.
Well, you're gonna have to ask the guy how much he wants to figure out how his son died, honestly. But I'll make my best effort.
I don't want to know, trust me. I can tell him it was a crash, but he asked where.
Well, at least we know the high road they took to get to the city, so we can try to locate it from there.
Send you some scans.
Yes. Well, we can try that. Uh, can, do I see if it's already peak hour? Uh, like, are people? Sorry. Basically, if people are starting to come, or if they still haven't started coming from there, because they have a higher chance to find a specific how the a specific marks if there aren't many.
Starting to get.
Great. Then I wait for daytime, and that's what I'm gonna do first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
Ryder. Apologies.
Yes, I'm ready to go, Ryder. I was just wrapping up the last of the paper. Something about me. I wouldn't mind talking to this associate. I appreciate that, Ryder. Well, let's get going then, shall we? Says while standing up and fixing his suit.
Linda, you're a little quiet, and Santana's mic's making a bit of noise.
Dude, Santana sounds like he's in a survival bunker. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Find yourself. Passenger side. Self.
My, this is far better than any walking I've done, that's for sure.
A particular.
Let's listen to something a bit upbeat today.
Style.
This is perfect, Ryder.
Relax, sir. The drive shouldn't take terribly.
Don will begin unbuttoning his suit top and just trying to relax a little bit. Is there anything I need to know about this associate of yours?
He's a very well-connected person. Is very talented at getting... And he's also very talented at finding things about people. Finds that's good. Bad. Pray that in your...
Well, I'm not the biggest sinner in this city, I imagine.
Oh. I should hope not. Else. Certain. Particular fellow is a very well-connected said. Responsible for a lot of people. A lot of places of power. City. I would find your people.
I understand. I appreciate you telling me all this. I imagine most drivers would just gladly let their boss die on the side of the road.
That sounds like a rather illogical thing. Boss is dead, then.
Usually management's happy to get rid of anyone they find inconvenient.
Yes, so far you're not. You don't find yourself in an... Regardless, not an assassin. Driver.
You have a point there. HR doesn't like to hire assassins, I imagine.
I believe I'll just let that one go.
This associate of yours, he's not quick to anger type, is he?
Not in my experience, sir.
So he got you this job, huh?
He did. I had an unfortunate run-in boss who had a particular penchant for the small, let's call it sinful parts of the city, well as exploring the...
Jeez.
Long story short, I found myself job on a more or less going to jail for...
And this associate helped you get this one?
Yes. Quite
Okay.
my streak. One which... Right. Job. At his rec...
What was the catch, or were you just the best for it?
I had done a decent amount of services for him in the past. Found it to get
A man that likes to be even, huh? Sounds like I get along just fine with this fella.
or eventually. Right. What isn't normal? This is probably one. Of this property. Writer put system. Rider here. Self. Arc. Going in on your own, sir.
Do I have to wait for a signal, or...
The signal is that you're here.
Oh, thanks, Ryder.
Of course, sir.
Don gets out of the car, looks around, trying to get a glimpse of his surroundings. It's probably the richest place I've ever been in. He'll mutter before beginning to make his way toward the mansion.
Sort of man. Left up. High level people who are in bit. The places that the corporations tend to give are executive. Approach are greeted. Maid who she gives you one thing that becomes very obvious very quickly. Heavily modified. A lot of ways. see that her arms, which that's sort of puffy are entirely cybernetic. What you're able to see from like chins down are like similar. Face also is from skin blood red as well. Tattoo that what almost demonic looking, offset by the fact. Greetings, sir. Pleasure to meet you.
It's a pleasure to be summoned here.
Mr. Ash is waiting. Can I take a coat or a jacket or?
If you don't mind, I imagine he'd feel more comfortable with me not having any overcoats on. We'll say we'll take off his business suit top.
Good.
He'll hand it to her, seeming to wince for a moment, but gladly hand it over. Like he can't bear to look at her too long.
What? You're escorted through. Lounge. Hair. Really well slicked back hair. Very simple. Early 40s, imagine. Certainly looks. Clearly not a young. Thank you, Rebecca. I have just been informed. This is a bit. Okay. Curtsy. Smile. There are a smoke.
As long as you're okay with me smoking inside.
It's fresh.
I've never been in a place such as this before, Don says while stepping over and trying to take a seat.
Knowing the right people and greasing the right palm.
He'll take one of the cigars that was offered to him and put it in his mouth. So, you're Mr. Ash.
Cigar. Oddly. Spreads them. That's what. Relaxing back. Yes, though, if you would like, you could call me Julian.
Am I allowed to be that formal?
I don't particularly mind. All I'm not a colleague of you.
Well, you can call me what you wish as well. I'm not the best when it comes to everyone calling me sir or mister either.
Very well done. We'll keep things nice. Aware of a company that Rockland.
Yes. I've been with them for a few years and recently got promoted.
Yes. You joined the event that harrowing one, correct?
I suppose you could call it that. He'll say while taking a long puff on his cigar.
I should wonder why.
You're curious.
Yeah.
Curious enough to call me down here, or
Curious enough to call you down. The fact that I know this in a decent.
I imagine there's nothing you don't know. Someone as powerful as you.
Quickly, people like that. Or motivated. Flexing. Obviously, there's privilege part. I don't know. It sounds it's like work that you see.
Yeah, I'd be lying if I didn't say it took me a while to get past that phase, but there's only one thing you want sometimes when something like that happens. And that's the heart of the one who wronged you.
Hey, wish to get close to the FO then, or
I want to take that place over and make it the husk of its former self and turn it into something worth a damn.
already reached on the. Suppose they could.
You ever have a close one turn on you? I'll ask while looking solemn. Someone that was perfectly normal, perfectly happy, but somehow never happy at the same time.
Let's just say
But she's alive. Is she?
I suppose.
Bevla. Don will just reach into his pocket and take out his wallet, producing a picture.
Very beautiful.
That's what she was at first. It's just a regular looking woman with blonde, long hair and a baby blue nightgown. Clearly caught not in her best moment. When we
Times it's suppose primal action that
I always thought she was perfect. And then one day, she saw an ad she was interested in. She never exactly had the best left hand. She was born with two fingers fused together. So she thought, I can fix that. And while I'm at it, I can maybe fix my arms so I don't need to deal with the hair anymore. She'd get all bruised up and cut up, and she'd look mangled. But then when she'd heal, she would look beautiful. But then it wouldn't even be a month later before she was standing in front of that damn mirror.
searching for yet another by going.
And then it just circled the drain. I don't know what happened, what did it, but one day she asked if I thought she was pretty. When I said she always was, well, that's how I lost my arm.
egg from.
That came from the fight after.
Yes. Aware. It is. Aware that you had experienced coordinate surgery. I had assumed.
I tried to last as long as I could. There was no end.
Not much. I do hope that you don't blame you.
If I did, I wouldn't be at Rockland.
See? Certainly found a party to blame for. But the rest.
I know I heard you mention another visitor, but I figured it was something along the lines of a delivery boy.
Well, I'm not entirely certain. I haven't worked with a person before, but he referenced.
I find the ones that wear their blood on their sleeves a lot more honest than the ones who don't lately.
Not wrong.
You want me to meet this individual?
Well, I've been informed that there's a job that's going to possibility.
Me? I'm not exactly a cyberpunk now.
No. But let's just say that this information might. Our room. Are capable. Might be helpful towards your ends.
How's it helpful to you, though?
How was it help? Understand. Potentially buy on all.
Playing with new tech tends to be the most dangerous game, I imagine.
Yes. Very risky. Also with the most reward.
I guess when I think about it from that perspective, I can understand it fully. Though, to be frank, you are sort of the first real fixer I've ever interacted with.
All that I'm saying. Interesting. John Ski work gets you close.
Yeah. You'd be right about that.
Well, it's an intercom. Up to you how you want to approach it.
Go up to the intercom. Press the button. Ryan here to speak to Julian.
Rather modestly.
you find there is a slightly old maps full.
Okay, we'll take note of that, and then move to the front door.
Back of the full splendor. About as different, paradoxical, fit for a maid.
Hello, I'm Ryan, here to see Julian.
Hello, sir. I actually didn't know what your name was. I assume you're the right person.
Well, I hope so too.
Anything you need me to take for you?
I'm good.
Okay.
As I see her, before we get into that, as I see her, can I determine what type of tech she has on her?
Go ahead. At let's call it
Fucking find it. It's gonna take some
It's
too.
it's like categorizing. It's just a little memorizing's all. It's like, what's this under? Okay.
I
that's
gotta
all.
scroll. I gotta scroll here. Okay, persuasion, social skills, right? No, perception, awareness. Okay, got it. Awareness. Kapow. And cyber tech.
yep, cyber tech under technique skill.
Got it.
Love to see it. Yeah, so this is definitely Militech from what you're able to. Cyber arm. Definitely. You would not put it past the fact probably has cyber hand. Well, though those are in gloves, it would not be a terrible. Misguided. Beyond that, you have probably some like, modification levels about the same speed as are going. You are pretty certain that she is decked out in enough stuff to be personal iris.
Reminds me of the maid from Black Lagoon.
Reminds me of the maid from
Get out of my head. This is the third time now.
reminds me of Lex Luthor's maids.
Oh, that's true.
Or is always his
He has a chauffeur like that too.
that was a show. I mean, a chauffeur, some servant with.
Personal assistant.
Mm-hmm.
Some like Hugh. Bright smile on her face. Your second guest has arrived, sir. Pretty sure. Ryan, right? Well, I was given the name Nova. I suppose.
That'd be me.
Good. Do you smoke any cigars? Ryan.
Donald just be eyeing Ryan curiously.
Having a cup. Don't just.
It was pretty funny. I gotta admit, that was funny shit. Yes, it'll take the cigar. It'll extend a hand to the other guest.
It's a pleasure to make your acquaintanceship, Donald should say before shaking his hand.
Wait,
Ryan, I've already.
a big man. It's a big man. Big boy is the fat guy at the that guards the place.
Right. Regardless. Chaz. So, my question. Handle.
Be able to give a more thorough answer after I examine the material that big man gave me. But my initial suspicion is that we're looking at a supply chain attack. Are you familiar with that term?
Vaguely.
If when it comes to getting malware onto various hardware, it's usually done at sometimes at point of distribution. It doesn't require any advanced hackery at all. It can be done at almost any point in a compromised supply chain. They're good at staying below the radar for these sorts of things. Far more easy than having to do any net running or hacking or anything like that.
That's risky.
You can do it all offline, really.
Packets of it. Let's say risking your outside puzzle piece. Now, this was massive. Provided
I think I understand.
Affecting multiple terminals could also be the result of distributed computing. Maybe setting up a distributed network.
my understanding is it's offices.
I think it wouldn't be too hard to slip him in as an IT guy.
That being said, there is the possibility that things which case things can. So, back up. Just in case things.
And do you have one in mind?
Yep. Given the situation, I think it would sure that if on that, it would probably bodyguard. Fundamental. Very good. Someone. Auckland. And lastly, can't do a good heist without.
It's certainly a specific skill set.
Well, let's see. We need a.
You mentioned the video earlier, didn't you?
Yes.
No, we'll bring up the video and say, well, so we need a cop who is a little on the outs. We need a solid driver, and we need a solid gun.
They look good.
Well, fate may have handed us a bit of a win today. As he pauses the video again at the funny part of the body flying out of the trunk, and he'll. Is there a little 3D projector on the agent? Is that a thing that that exists? Okay. He's gonna 3D project that scene, kind of in the middle of the where we're all situated, kind of in the middle of the conversation. Well, I don't have a contact for these folks, and I don't think they're terribly interested in being found. But maybe the this lawman, do we know anything about him? Is he willing to play ball with something like this?
Fun thing about law. Lieutenant German Santos.
Santos, huh?
I was going to do a quick public information search on that name. Anything come up?
Santos offers
Any media folk profile him for anything either particularly noble or particularly nefarious, or is he a fly under the radar sort of fella?
He's not here.
Yeah.
Consult the documentation.
Dude,
Much like Noble himself.
Hack his notes, look at a panic.
Santos is currently working at imprisoned for having taken
I'm sorry, that was not what you lost me.
sorry. Santos's family was imprisoned by the end. Supposedly, requested to save the.
Okay. Seems like a bit of a good boy.
Boy Scout.
Well,
I'm sure he could be convinced pretty easily.
Oh, very
Most police.
wide variety. Allenson. No law, man. Chaos, anarchy, riots in the street.
Well, some people want that,
Unfortunately, Donald just sadly not.
but I gotcha. Okay, well, I think we can at least start with an approach there. What about our friends in the desert?
I got a feeling we're gonna have to leave that up to our new friend.
Not any action that I back about. Got some chance. The unidentified fellow is probably generally.
Would I?
What about the owner of the arm and/or eye and/or body part that's thrown out the trunk? I mean, I imagine that one's pretty public, right?
Oh yes.
Maybe I could dredge up something on his missing parts. Dawn says while pondering on that.
Look at there. Here's possible that have record.
It's a pretty good chance of it.
It's a good place to start. You know, maybe you have some friends in media, I assume. Any chance we can plant a story that says something along the lines of that cyber eye has been investigated and contains the identities of those people, and just sort of put that out there just as a bit of bait to maybe lure them out to get in contact, because they're going to come snooping around probably to get rid of that data, right?
What
Have
to
to
do?
be.
I'd be more afraid of spooking them into hiding.
Well, how about find a way to leak to them? Leak it in a way that would be obvious, perhaps through clandestine circles, but less so to the public. Say it in such a way that that information is recovered and currently being decrypted by technicians at a certain warehouse on the outskirts.
At that point, you might as well put up a bounty for whoever walks in with the hand to the police station.
I think them.
Yes, we just meet them there.
Like the idea.
Well, see, if you can get people to do what you want, you don't need to do a whole lot of extra clever stuff. Save the brain power for the things that really need it.
Well, it's
Put in a detail that the eye has also ability to record a number of other biometric data beyond physical, obvious visual appearance. Thermals, scans, that sort of thing.
Just find a brand that does that and label the eye as one of those, right?
Mm-hmm. There's a lot more things that can record, and like thermal signatures will give you a heightened body mass. Anything from if this guy has any techs, various scanners can do that. Make the whole thing out there. It'll be enough. Somebody with that kind of hardware probably has hardware inside and out. A bit like your domestic servant.
Guarantee. Good, but if it doesn't, going out and
What's
meeting.
considered a two-prong approach.
Like some the other way.
Well, I've certainly built up enough PTO.
Well, you have one data dork and one corpo talking to nomads. Well, it might be a heavy lift, but we'll see what we can do.
Do I give the vibe of a normal corpo? That is true. And I doubt they got any kind of mutual respect for someone willing to put their life out to beat them.
I'll put the. There's other app.
Sounds fine by me. And if worse comes to worse, I'll gladly play as his bodyguard.
In this world, there is real evil.
What?
In the darkest shadows and in the most ordinary
Just now look at my
places.
stats.
These are the true stories of the innocent and the unimaginable.
What the fucking about?
Marie Potter knows that her daughter Julie has powers
Hold
of
on.
perception
One of my browsers just
beyond
went
the
nuts
five
on me.
senses.
Fucking.
In profound silence, something
It's eating my
unknown
rail.
speaks to her.
No,
Something
it's.
that torments the family and fights to destroy everything
All right.
sacred.
Give me a second.
Between the world we see and the things we fear, there are doors.
Approx your
When they are
1
opened,
gigabit per second porn torrent download.
become reality.
Wasn't that fucking.
1 gigabyte a second porn out porn. What
God.
the fuck?
No.
The Hudson Valley of upstate New York.
One of my
has
browsers
long
is
been
now
rumored to
playing
be
a
land
TV
of ghosts
show.
and demons.
The fuck?
So that's all I'm hearing
The
right
Dutch
now.
explorers
Does it
named
do now?
it the Devil's Playground.
I don't know.
And pioneers told stories
Just
of
close all your other
terrifying
shit.
supernatural
Why do you
encounters.
have 10 browser tabs open? You don't need all that shit.
No, I don't.
Even today, some inhabitants report horrifying hauntings.
Probably have a task manager, and honestly, if you need to get it shut up.
In the fall of 1990,
You can look in your
Okay.
sound bar to see what's
Woo.
making the noise.
Got that
You're
fucking
welcome.
thing. Well, it was one of my browsers, but I could. But I had like 20 tabs open. I was going through them. I couldn't see it. God, that was weird. It just scared the shit out of me too. It was like bum bum bum. I was like, what the fuck?
I thought you would looked me over for a second, and it was
If
like,
you were
Jesus
listening to my
Christ.
stream, you would have heard that. You would have heard like all of it. And it's like it's one of those haunting shows too. So it's just like it's this guy in the background being like, these people were terrorized. Boom boom boom.
God.
I'm like, please shut the fuck up.
You're still on that kick. You're still on the kick of awful horror video.
Absolutely, that shit's fucking gold. What are you talking about?
It's God.
Don't you try to fucking shame me. That is a great fucking...
Please, I watch trash. I watch trash television.
We
I'm
all
not
watch.
judging.
We all watch shit.
That shit's fucking gold.
All right, sorry about that. It's taken care of now.
Oh, I'm dying to go watch the stream later to find out what the fuck happened. And I've muted the stream.
But
So,
Thorium, you have to have your volume all the way up to get the what the fuck moment.
All right, so we have more or less determined are at that particular. As you are in the night, dragon back, different card this time. Santos, rest of his nation, all of you soon to like it or not. That is where we're. But Eve is
Affirmations.
affirmation.
so starting at the top to the bottom, start off with C. Percy, is there a moment of this session?
There's moments in this one. First of all, homie actually writing a background story, that was lit.
I
Like, that background story reveal right away, just like, oh my god, I didn't write a backstory and homie did. Fuck.
I've only had one. I didn't write one for Gregel. Everyone knows it.
The other fucking moment is Young's driving skills out. Well, not surprisingly, driving the lawman Santana's character.
Very Smokey and the Bandit, wasn't it? Just the absolute bumbling. Fucking.
Well, it's funny because like it's less that the cop is bumbling, or that literally like Nine's
Wildly
skill.
outclassed. What do
Yeah.
you say?
He's got a plus 14 to driving.
It's like, yeah, he won.
He's got the max stat and the max skill. He's like, this is my shit.
It's like, here we go.
And plus my moto skill.
Like Santos has a plus 10 to driving, so it's very difficult to work with the fact that somebody else always has 4 more points than you.
Yeah, and here I was thinking on going in like some other driving skill, like air vehicle driving.
Luckily somebody's got that. We got you covered, Jack. You can take seaplane. You can take boating.
True. Homie, any moments for you?
Just that literal star is just like, hey, you want to have a dance off? Thunk. Huh? It's like literally, like, well, I just imagine that ricocheting through the engine to the front seat through the air conditioner. And just, I didn't expect my backstory to get out there that fast. It was a perfect setup, though, with the robot maid and all.
That was up to you as to whether you actually wanted details on that. I was keeping.
I didn't. He's not the type to try and hold back. Like, at first he saw everyone in the company as devils, but now he's like, no, I want the head of this Hydra. Well, yeah, it was pretty good all around. I feel sorry for fucking Santana there, though.
That being, like, that being said, only been decided to share that with you.
I'm sure the time will come.
That was a armor-piercing grenade, by the way. If I had an HD DP round, it would have fucking shredded the engine block.
Yeah, he kind of just vanished on that last one for no reason.
He has connection issues. The honestly, so much was so good. I mean, for what is essentially the first session, which is the tutorial chapter, pretty much functionally.
It's more like get the group together chapter.
Yeah, it's a tutorial chapter. Everybody kind of gets through their time, and everybody was so good. I thought that, yeah, like you said, the homie's character reveal, which he shared even before the character, the backstory reveal, just his interactions with in the office and with other people. You're so much more chill and open with this character than you are in Astro Wars.
It's because I didn't make anything in Astro Wars.
Almost we've been playing all to you.
I tried, and then Kitten left, and now I got nothing again.
Well, just this is all it took. Just take 10 minutes and write something in Astro Wars. But okay, I'm not complaining about Astro Wars. I'm praising you for this one. But no, I'm saying it's just maybe it's just sometimes a change of scenery or a change of zip code can sometimes do wonders for exploring something and getting into it. I thought that was great even before the reveal. It was you painted a great picture. Like just my favorite line was, Angela just kept staring in that damn mirror. Like yeah, you've kind of like told a whole a cyberpunk tragedy mirror. Like you painted a really good picture there. You can picture it's like you're narrating a movie. That was fucking great. So Santana was great. Like I said, the funniest part about that was he was okay with kind of playing the the out of his depth young rookie for the moment. And like I said, having that, I still had the picture up because you had the show picture. Like I said, he looks like the edgiest man that ever edged. And that can you pop that up? Can you pop up his portrait, please?
When the just power goes off at the DMV.
Yeah. Just pop up just do the show portrait business. Yeah, there it is. So
his mouth is stitched shut.
It looks like some tats or some tats. So he looks like he's the I'm so dark and edgy. God, I'm the lawman from like he's fucking like he's gonna be Judge Dredd.
I'm the lawman from hell.
Instead of Judge Dredd, more it's more Boss Hogg than Judge Dredd.
Just sort of more Blade Runner.
Yeah, then the city's like, I need a barricade. Fuck your barricade, bitch. Handle it yourself.
I need a checkpoint for this thing.
I imagine him just like rolling his fucking car like in the 70s car chase movies and just landing on his wheels and keep going. It's just nothing but problems, but he's tenacious. He's tenacious, doing the right thing. And of course, it's like we said a bunch of times, it's so much more fun when you like get your skill checks in sort of your side quest seasoning than almost it is in your main business. But starting it off with this preem, I guess preem is their way of saying crit in this game. It's exploding dice, right? So you get a 10, then you roll another 10, and you add it. Is that how that works?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's exploding dice. Yep. What's that's called? And so you get exploding dice, exploding cars, exploding people. So that was a great way to start that out. You can just you mentioned this, Lundy, about how this is a very cinematic, descriptive game, and I do picture the cinema of like, all right, well, we're going to make you dance, and in comes the grenade into the cab.
I'm pretty sure I could hear that conversation from 100 feet away.
Yeah, but you hear that, yeah, I could play, and just like he's gearing up to be clever and say his clever line. He doesn't finish it. It just
yeah, that was
just the people the 2 people in the cab are turned into pink mist pretty much immediately. Which if
Young just walking up and trying to talk with them and being like, all right, I'll dance.
He gets and a guy in the turret gets yeeted 50 feet in the air. And so it's just like a good I didn't expect my character to have the most amazing interesting day, but it was still but also a lot of fun there. He's got an interesting I think a fairly good backstory that I came up with him in terms of the Voodoo Boys are very connected to net running, and so that's kind of his how he's sort of linked in with them. So that was fun. Just like everything was, and Young is just Young has just this great understated sense of humor that just carries through in every game he plays, which is always a
Yeah.
pleasure. Just like this very chill, understated thing that's like immediately after the thing explodes and the super deadly solo shows up. It's like he's like, now you gotta leave too. You gonna make me? Probably not. I'm gonna ride. Just
It's the best
it's
way to
just
get
funny
him
to
out,
see
yeah.
as the guy who's just very nonplussed by things. He just watched this comedy bus explosion right in front of him.
And then
I
went
like
up
to
like,
think that explosion was like the one from like the Borderlands intro to I think it was Borderlands 2 when the fucking bandit mobile gets ran over to fight
Yeah.
by the fucking train.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they all go fucking flying.
Yeah, didn't see that one, but just as it, like I said, an amazing intro. All the players brought the sauce today. And it was a lot of fun. Almost to the point where random hijinks it might be the game that even more. I know Lundy has this very big. He has a story planned out. It's planned out over two things. It's going to be networked together, but. Man, we're pretty good at the improv. We may not need it.
I think Lundy set me up specifically to fucking cause that shit anyway.
Yeah, I mean you're
he basically knew I was gonna do that.
you're a violent man and you're in a position to do violence to assholes who don't matter. Yeah, pretty much. That's
Yeah.
been my guess.
People put in predictable.
The
Yeah.
I mean the least if I want to do unpredictable, it's like, okay, do you delete this message or do you take it? Well, I'm not going to say I delete it because it sounds like I'm just giving Lundy work. So let's just take the message.
but yeah.
The yeah,
Liked
and it was
everything.
so it was fucking 2 thumbs up.
Awesome. Young.
Yeah, oh, that's good. It's been a much. It's been a lot. Blah, blah, blah. My brain is slashed. There were a lot of amazing parts at this session. But I really liked Santana and Santa's reaction to the whole car chase. Being
God.
like, what the fuck am I supposed to do here?
God, how am I going to write a report about this?
I'm getting too
Just
bipped
lie your
on my.
ass in the real world.
I'm
What you
getting.
do.
I'm getting the bips of my fucking missing persons reports. Oh shit! It just drove past me. Fuck. Whee! Squeals the fucking brakes and I was like, oh shit, we got a fucking piece, dude. Fucking already? Come on, I figured I'd get into town first. You already on my ass? Fuck.
Together in. We shall see.
Stop that, team one.
Will.
We'll be we'll just be competitive and douchey for no reason. Yeah. Top that.
Team one
Yeah.
starts the episode on the
I
job.
don't think you can.
As
They start off in the heist.